are you working with another broker?
Bingo.
And have you seen a lender?
Okay, and what's your budget? Kind of ties in as well, the lender.
Right.
So if you think about those two questions, how does the average American feel about a salesperson? Aggressive, dishonest, overbearing, watch your wallet, stop me when you want. The reality is there's a negative perception out there of salespeople because the 80%ers outweigh the 20%ers. The people who aren't very good at this business are kind of...
There's a lot of them.
Correct. So most people's exposure goes dealing with negative and bad salespeople who aren't asking the right questions, who all they do really care about is the person's wallet or whatever. So one of the just a little quick tip on turning an inbound call into an appointment is, don't ask those two questions because most realtors, as you had just guessed, are asking those questions. So it puts the people on the defensive. And by the way, if a realtor asks somebody else, do you have a realtor? What's that potential client going to say anyway?
Yes.
Well, sure, I got a realtor, even if they don't. So not a very good question to ask, I don't think, up front.
Yeah.
I know they have to ask it, but maybe timing is important here. So one of the things that I learned on how to turn an inbound call into an appointment is here's a little stall question. While I look that up for you, so they say, hey, I was calling about this listing on such and such a street, is it still available? While I look that up for you, would it be okay if I asked you a few questions? And that's kind of a little stall if you think about it, and then what that does is it gets the client to go, whoa, this person seems different. They don't want to know if I have a realtor, and they're not in my pocketbook already. So I think the reality is it shows somebody that they care. If somebody comes to you and says, may I ask you some questions, you're automatically going to think, oh, this person's genuine, they care. So may I ask you some questions? And most of the time people are going to say, sure. And at that point, the focus should be not on what they called on, the listing they called on specifically.
Right.
It should be, my whole philosophy is focus on their past, not their future. Because if you focus on someone's past, it says you care about them. If you focus on their past, it also finds areas in which you can connect. For example, if you were to say, well, where are you calling from? And you said Fort Collins. And I didn't go to school there, but let's just say I went to school. Let's use you. Oh, I'm calling from Montana. Oh, really? I went to Montana State. And all of a sudden, what do we have? A connection. And now there's some like going on. There's some trust going on here.
Yeah.
Because now you're more like that other person. So most people aren't finding connectors. They're asking, do you have a realtor and what's your budget? And those connections, I don't think.
Good point. Well. Very good point. Timely thanks.
Yes.
Another point you were going to bring up here.
Yeah. I guess last one we were in October, and so everybody still has time to go out and do this. And you talked about that list, and hopefully there's some people out there that have a list of people they're doing business with, or maybe potentially going to be doing business with. And so let's just take an example. Well, I'll just ask you. Do you celebrate Christmas or?
Right.
Okay. So I'll ask you two questions. Just answer whatever is appropriate for you. How many Christmas cards did you and your family get last year? About?
We probably received, I'm going to say, a couple hundred.
Couple hundred. Okay. Yeah. Next question. How many Thanksgiving cards did you guys get last year?
None that I can remember.
Okay, so there's the idea. A lot of people aren't thinking about how to out-position, out-communicate, and outsell their competition. And how do you do that? Well, this is an easy idea. Instead of sending a holiday card in December when everybody else is doing it, if I was to go to your house and there'd be a couple hundred cards on that, if I went to your house for Thanksgiving, that thing on the wall that all the cards are supposed to go, there would be none. Well, what if there was one? And by the way, who comes over for Thanksgiving? Family, friends, and what might this be an opportunity to do? Be top of mind. So the script that I use is, in this day of Thanksgiving, I wanted to thank you for being a valued client. I also appreciate the referrals you sent. Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and a prosperous new year. And what you've done is you've gotten in before everybody else. You've taken time to do what Thanksgiving's about, which is be thankful for people who are doing business with you or people in your life that have done great things for you or whatever. So it's a positioning thing. It's in before everybody else, and it's a good time to be thankful.
Yeah, good tip. Great idea. So let's just talk a little bit here briefly before closing the show down about competitive edge. Yeah. Seminars. What do you guys specialize in? What do you do?
Well, Competitive Edge, we do two things. Our company does a lot of sales training. Where companies have us out for quarterly meetings, end of the year retreats, things like that. The fun part of the business that I like, and it was an opportunity for me to help people become better or give them a place to go get better and network with like-minded people. I think you and I share something similar, which is I certainly don't do cable. I haven't done cable for a good 10 or 11 years. My friends still make fun of me, but the reality is it doesn't cost very much, but it costs a lot to watch it. So we want to provide a place where every 3 months we bring in top-notch speakers, national speakers. And actually coming up December, we always do a goal-setting seminar in December. Don't start your year until it's finished. We have Zig Ziglar's top trainer, Chris Dunham's going to be coming in on goal setting and time management December 7th. We have Orville Ray Wilson, if you're familiar with the Guerrilla Marketing books.
Right, yeah.
He wrote the Guerrilla Selling and the Guerrilla Negotiating of that, and he'll be in March, so 3 months later. And then a lot of realtors are familiar with Tom Hopkins.
Yeah.
Very successful career.
That'd date me when I know that he was hot when I got in the business.
Yeah, or you call him Tommy Hopkins.
Yeah, Tommy Hopkins.
Way back.
All the closes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you, should you? You know, I mean, like,
absolutely.
What would you do if you could?
Yeah, don't say monthly payment, say monthly investment. Never say sign the contract, say authorize the agreement.
Yeah,
these are the kinds of things Tom Hopkins teaches. They're such simple things, but a lot of people aren't doing them. So we're bringing Tom in May, kind of go back to that spring training we talked about. Obviously for realtors, the peak season is going to be their summer. So opportunity to sharpen your skills just prior to the real peak season coming in. And then we have Bob Berg. He's the author of a bestseller right now called The Go-Giver. And his seminar is going to be how to cultivate endless referrals. Kind of go back what we talked about earlier. The
Moving in on Joe Stump, huh?
Sure.
Competitor of Joe Stump, huh?
Maybe not. When it comes to personal development, I don't think there is competition. I think go find the person who works for you, but the key is go find that person. Go find that book that works for you, whatever it may be. So yeah, we do a quarterly program. It's a series, once every 3 months, different speaker, different topic, and the goal behind it is to give people a place to go to hang out with positive people who are optimistic, B, network with like-minded people, and C, my goal for everybody is to go grab one idea. Because if they can grab one idea each quarter, that's 4 ideas. And what does it take to be successful in business? 20% of the things make 80% of the difference.
Right. So how's your program work then? How do people, do they pay as you go? Do you let us know?
Sure. What we typically do is we work where we do workshops for organizations. So we'll go out and do a workshop for a sales organization. So anybody out there who has a sales organization that has commissioned salespeople, we'll actually come in and do a complimentary workshop for the sales team, share some ideas, and then give them this opportunity. But for your viewers, the investment for one program is $250, and if they wanted to go to all 4, we can do a discount of $699 for the year as a series. And a lot of people are coming up to me going, this sounds great, but I can't afford it. And so what we've done is everybody's got a stimulus plan, so we created our own, and so we can help people break it out up to 7 months. And really what I wanted to do there is I wanted to alleviate and eliminate the excuses. Because everybody's got cable, everybody's doing certain things with their money that if they held back on a couple things and put it back into their business, I think can be beneficial. Again, if you're not getting better.
Worse. So how long are these seminars when these speakers come in? I mean, are they trying to pitch goods at the end of the show? Are they 8 hours, 4 hours? Are they intimate settings?
Yeah, I've in my 15 years experience doing seminars, we've narrowed it down to what we think is the best right now, which is a 3-hour program. I used to do the all day. The reality is if a salesperson's gone all day, they're not working, which means if they're not working, they have to go back and catch up with what they missed, which they're probably not going to implement the information. That's not why we created our company. We created our company to help people get better. So our seminars are 3 hours. We do a networking hour from 8 to 9. Give people an opportunity to network with like-minded people. We serve a continental breakfast, and then from 9 to noon, we feed their mind with information. So that's kind of our model.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I think we picked up at least 4 good ideas today.
Great.
I'll probably even take you up on the concept of going Thanksgiving. Actually, last year I sent out kind of New Year's cards.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't even have time, but actually sending out a Thanksgiving card. In fact, we kind of do that with those little mini calendars. We do those every year.
Yeah.
And the key is you have to have them out by Thanksgiving, or you're not the calendar of choice.
Right. Absolutely.
So that actually falls into that little thing there. Yeah. If you get them out like December or January, they'll end up being the calendar that's out in the garage or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, David, great information.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being on the show.